Okay guys, Kalina here again, and today I'm going to talk to you about roaming profiles. So you might ask yourself now, what is a roaming profile? A roaming profile is a user profile. It's a concept in the Windows NT operating system family that allows users with a computer on a domain to log onto any PC on the same network and access their documents. They would have a consistent desktop experience. They would have access to all the applications, the toolbar positions, the preferences. The whole desktop would be the same no matter where they log on in the organization. So like my organization, for example, I actually implemented this as a solution for the problems that our department have been facing where users are moving around from department to department and the IT personnel would have to go and copy their stuff from one machine to the next. So I have recently implemented roaming profiles in my organization as a solution to this problem. Right, so the first step in actually creating roaming profiles is to make sure that your server and your client has a trust relationship established. Right, so in previous tutorials, I would have showed you guys how to set up a trust relationship. For the purpose of this tutorial, I won't be doing that. We'll just dive right into actually setting up the roaming profile. So what we would need to do first is you go in onto your server. All right, you log into your server. And the first step would be to actually create a folder on your C drive to execute the roaming profiles. So we create new folder and we can call it profiles. Alright, so when you create your profile, what you can do now, your profile folder, what you can do now is right click on the folder under sharing, property sharing, click share, and add everyone. This allows any user on the domain to have access to that particular folder on your server. Alright, when you're finished, click done, click close. And what we would need to do now is to copy the network path, this path for this folder. We need to copy it so that we can use it on the user side. Alright guys, so after you create the actual folder, what you need to do is copy the path of the folder. So you go to properties, sharing. This path here, the network path, you copy it because you would need it for the client side of things. So you copy. Alright. After you copy the path now, what you would need to do is actually set up the user accounts on the server itself. So you go to Start, Administrative Tools, and then your Active Directory, Users and Computers. You have to create the users, the actual users that are going to log on to the domain. you create the users. So what you do here is click on the screen, click new user, and what you do is you just fill in the information. So we'll call this user John, last name Doe, and he will be logging on as john.doe at kalina.local, which is your domain. You click next, you put in a password for the user. For the sake of this tutorial, we will uncheck the user must change the password. You click next, and then you click finish. Okay. Alright, so the password didn't meet the requirement, so I will need to change that. So I'm changing the password to something a little more complex. And our user is created. So you see John Doe has been created. Right, so John Doe is created. The next step would be to actually edit his user profile. So we right click on it. We click properties. We go into profile, and the network part that you copied from the server, what we do is we paste it there. What you would need to do as well is click apply, say OK. Alright, for the sake of this tutorial, I had already created myself as a user here. So as you can see, Kalina Gopi is a user as well as John Doe. So what I will do now is log on to the client machine with either of these profiles and continue the tutorial. Okay guys, so before we move on from this step here where you're putting in the profile part, I actually need to make a change to this profile part. What you do is you put in /% username % again. So what we do is we put that at the end, and that will actually help with the implementation of the actual roaming profile, because what would happen is this is where the user account now, when they log on, the folder will be created in their name. So you click apply, and as you can see, it changed from % username to the actual user. So you need to do that for the user accounts, not each of them, because what you can do is copy one user account to create another. So you won't have to do it for each one. So you put the path, you put % username %, and you click apply. And as you can see, it changed to the actual logon account name, username. Okay guys, so what you do next is you go to your client machine. I'm using this the Windows 7 machine, and log on as one of the users that you created, which is the domain user. So I actually have the server open at the side here. So you can actually see that when I log on as the user, it creates a folder on the server itself, on the C drive, in the folder called roaming profiles. And as you can see, it did just that. Here's the folder that was created for kalina.cookie. So this is the server here, and it actually created a folder when I logged on to the client machine. And anything that I do on this profile would be saved to that folder called kalina.cookie on the C drive of your server. So if I save a document here on the client side, it would actually save in that folder. And if I log on to another machine anywhere in the organization, it would be accessible anywhere. So what I'll do now is switch user, log on as John Doe, so you can see that it will create a folder for John Doe as well. So we're switching user. And as soon as the machine logs onto the domain, the folder will be created on the server. And here we have it. John Doe has been created as well. So we have two user roaming profiles created. Both of them now accessible to the user no matter where they go in the organization. So it's a very simple and effective way to maintain your user access throughout your organization. So that is it for my tutorial on roaming profiles. I hope it was helpful, and stay tuned for my next tutorial. Bye guys.